welcome to Johnny English. So we are continuing our journey through 100 ways to improve your English understanding and speaking. Now today's 4 pieces of advice are a little bit more complex because they deal with more difficult things a little bit. But hopefully after watching the video you will see how by applying these advices your English can be more natural, you can speak more confidently. And as I always say, if it works for you, try it. If not, find some other way from our pieces of advice that will help you make improvement and move forward. So following on from yesterday, we spoke yesterday about reading graded readers and reading children's books. Today I'm going to recommend that you read newspapers. Now the reason I think newspapers are important is because in newspapers you will find the very important passive construct. It's very important to understand that. So what you would do is you will read the newspaper and you will look for passive constructs and put a circle around it, underline it somehow, and just see how the passive construct is used for giving a neutral opinion about something, or when the agent of the action is not important. You will see how passive construct works, and then you'll see how you can use it in your own language, in writing and speaking. Following on from this idea of reading newspapers, just a little bit, second piece of advice, a little bit further to this, is to read for general meaning first. Just read an article. The beauty of newspapers is they're usually quite short articles. So read the article and try and understand the general meaning. Don't worry about every word, understanding everything, but understand the general idea, and then you can always go back and look for further understanding, further explanation of words a little bit later. So our next 2 pieces of advice are to do with the sentence in general. Okay, you look at the sentence, and you might not understand a word, but don't worry about understanding that word. Maybe try first to understand the words around it. Look at the words that surround this word in the sentence, and by doing that you can very often guess what the word is that you've struggled with. So if only then you can't understand the word, then you can look it up and check for yourself. But it's a very good practice to first of all look around the sentence, look at both sides of the word that you're struggling with, see what it might mean, what is it referring to, and then you can probably guess. And that's really good for your self-confidence, and you've also added a brand new word to your vocabulary because you've had to work for that word. And our final piece of advice today is to learn root words. Those words that are the basis for the language words that we use. So let me just give you 2 examples. The word scrib, S-C-R-I-B, scrib. It actually means to write. So there are many words that come from that, but when you see this word scrib and you know it means to write, every time you see a word with S-C-R-I-B as part of it, you know it's something to do with writing. Scribble, scribe, etc. So that's a really good tip. Another word like it is min, M-I-N. It means small. So whenever you see a word with minimum, minimize, minimal, maybe it's something to do with making things smaller. So by learning the root words, that takes a little bit more work. Maybe it's for more advanced learners. If you do that, you'll start to understand many more words, and your English, as I've said, will improve, and you'll feel much better with the language, much more comfortable with it. So thanks for tuning in, and please tune in tomorrow for 4 more pieces of advice.